Mammoths here today from Jimmy John's Field in Utica, Michigan. Another muggy day. We're hoping the showers will stay away. With weather like this in Michigan, you always have to look out for those pop-out showers. I know to begin today, the tarp was on the field for a little while, but they've since taken it off. There's no rain that's come down yet. Fingers crossed.
People who work in baseball just want to get the game started. Once you get that first pitch in, you've got a much better chance of getting the whole ball game in, and fingers crossed today.
Jeremy, I'm alongside Dan Griesbaum Jr. to bring the call here from the United Shore Media Desk. Looking forward to another good game here today, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday in terms of the dominoes falling and these players settling into their rosters that they'll likely compete with for the rest of the season. Ross Haffey is a big addition to the Mammoths full-time, though.
You know, if I were a betting man, which I'm not, I would, start to look at these Mammoths as a team that could get hot. They're very primed, I think, for a run right now. Between the guys that have settled into the lineup, guys, some of which were here before and are swinging the bat better, some of which have just been added, they could really maybe have the best lineup going for it. I don't think that's a crazy statement.
Overall, when you look at yesterday's 2-0 win for the Utica Unicorns, certainly tight all throughout the bullpen day for the Unicorns, brought them through it. 7 different pitchers in 7 innings.
We talked about how it's a little bit of a risky thing to do because all it takes is one guy having a little bit of an off day and the whole thing gets shot at that point, and nobody had a bad day. It worked just the way that I think Jim Essien drew it up. Started with Bobby Comitas, who I think we all felt pretty good about, but he was only in there for 1 inning, and they had to piece it together the rest of the way, and it was enough to get a relatively easy win.
Well, Derek Hurt, your player of the game, 1 for 1 ultimately with a hit by pitch, the game-winning run, and a single as well. They had a little bit of trouble sacrificing him over. You got to second base in the end, though, with the single over the head of the shortstop by Blaze.
Yeah, there's very thin margins in the game of baseball. You've got Malik Blaze up there who's trying to sacrifice Derek Hurt to second. He fails twice. Then he hits a line drive that's just inches from being caught. And, everything ends up working out for the Unicorns, but it could have gone either way, that's for sure.
Let's take a peek at your starting lineups, as always, brought to you by AAA of Michigan. First, for the visiting Westside Woolly Mammoths, it's Garrett Kieber back at the top of the lineup once again for Paul Nickenbrugge's squad. He's been there pretty much all season long, with the exception of just a couple games, one recently as well. Will Johnson hitting second and playing left field. It's Briggs, Scott Capers, and Alec Oland in the middle, 4-5-6. Ross Haffey, probably one of your dangerous 6 hitters you'll see, hitting sixth and playing first base here today on a real hot streak right now. Landon Barnes, Isaiah Cullum, and Andrew McCoy rounding it out here today against A.J. Coleman. More about him as our pregame show continues. Over to the home Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers here tonight. It's T.J. Riles leading it off at the top and playing left field. Ron Williams Jr. batting second and playing first base. A late addition to the lineup here tonight with Freddie Geely out in that 2-hole. Joey Weimer, Cameron Comer, and Cesar Cuevas in the 5-hole here today. Jalen Smith, Romero Harris, Jonathan Brandt to follow, with Ashante Wheatley rounding it out against Ryan Andrazik here today for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. This lineup certainly also intriguing. These dominoes starting to fall well for Vaughn Joshua. I'm sure he's sad to see Xavier Warren not be a part of his team anymore, because that was a pretty nice combo with Warren and Weimer at the top. But
and Haffey too, potentially. He had Haffey a lot, certainly.
True, but this lineup has potential too, I think.
It does. Ron Williams has been swinging a little bit better. Normally you have Geely in there. Weimer's obviously outstanding. I think Comer's, I don't know, maybe I'm overstating it, but he's definitely in the top 5, I think, as far as offensive players who could potentially go to the next level. Just because of playing catcher is obviously a big deal. Hitting from the left side with some power, having a good arm. I think if he can improve some of the receiving and some of the other aspects of his game, the consistency with his bat as far as contact, but he's a prospect. So there's some pieces in there that are nice, and they're right in the mix. They're right around second place right now, and they're going to contend.
Now time for Dan Griesbaum Jr.'s keys to the game. What do you have today?
Well, as we alluded to, it's a couple of red-hot bats on the Mammoth side. You've got Scott Capers, who's the catcher that came in, who's hitting in the 4th spot for them, and Ross Haffey, who's in the 6th spot. I was thinking maybe they'd hit 4 and 5, but it didn't work out that way. They're hitting 4 and 6. But just between these two guys over their last 2 games, 3 doubles and 3 home runs between the 2 of them. So they've got enough power, and they're swinging hot enough bats to where they could put the team on their back today potentially and carry them through. They're facing a starting pitcher who's maybe been a little bit inconsistent with A.J. Coleman, who's really got to work on commanding his fastball down in the zone. So it's a potential recipe for the home run ball today, and it could benefit the Mammoths.
And that wind at times has been blowing straight on. I know on the drive-in I saw a lot of flags whipping. That one was whipping, I promise, 5 or so minutes ago. We'll see how it is by the time first pitch rolls around here on the USPBL network. We'll have our pitcher comparison presented by Denso next. Stick with us.
Order Jimmy John's and we'll bring it to your car door. Leave it at your front door or have it ready for you at our drive-thru. Just use jimmyjohns.com or our app to tell us what sandwiches, drinks, chips, and cookies you're hungry for. When you want it and how you want it. We're ready.
Crack open a Budweiser and experience the refreshing taste of summer. Make every moment of summer count by picking up Budweiser today.
Last year, Belfour did 114,000 different jobs around the world. We've been to floods, fires, tornado sites, earthquakes, where people have lost everything. Yes, your homes can be rebuilt, and yes, your businesses will be rebuilt, but most importantly, your lives will be rebuilt. There's nothing that we cannot fix, and we believe that.
It's our pictures.
To me, that's Belfour. At Belfour, we're restoring more than property.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, everyone. Jeremy Otto alongside Dan Griesbaum Jr. to bring in the call here tonight. Today's game presented by Budweiser and brought to you by these fine sponsors: AAA, Ascension, Balfour Property Restoration, the Detroit Medical Center, DTE Energy, Denham Sports, Dunkin' Donuts, Green for Life Environmental, Green Path Financial Wellness, Jimmy John's, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, Pepsi, Scott's, Summit Oral, and United Shore. We thank all those fine partners for their sponsorship of this year and certainly this whole season here today. Well, time for your pitcher comparison brought to you by Denso. Take a peek, Ryan Andrazik, a guy who we're still getting used to here at the USPBL, and A.J. Coleman, who's had quite a few starts.
Common theme between both of these guys, I think, is that they really have to be precise with their command. They both have fastballs that have been, hittable in the past. With Andrazik, it really has to do with where he's spotting that pitch. With Coleman, he's really especially got to keep it down in the zone. He's got to get on top of it and make sure that he uses the sink. That's really what makes him effective. So both of these guys kind of similar in that regard. Not a ton of margin for error, but guys that I think have the ability to certainly keep their team in the ballgame.
Position players, pitchers, they're all kind of fighting for that next year as well, because when you get to the nitty-gritty of the season, not only do you want to win, and that's kind of why we've seen these rosters settle down and be what we're going to see in the pennant push, but you also want to come back / move on. So there's some pressure there too.
Oh, absolutely. Even when even when the pennant race part is taken out of it, these guys are thinking about a career at this point. They're looking to take that next step. There's going to be scouts watching, these games going through the last month of the season, which we're rapidly approaching, and they've got a lot to play for.
First pitch coming up next between the Beavers and the Mammoths.
They called it the 1,000-year flood. They were having homes and businesses flooded, and roads were being washed out.
My entire house is going to be flooded. Okay, do you have a second story?
A lot of fear that we were going to lose a lot of people. When we heard the police station was flooded, we immediately gave them our command center to operate out of.
Belfort was our savior. Sheldon and his team restored 25 of our businesses and more than 1,500 residences.
At Belfort, we're restoring more than property.
There's nothing better than a ball game at Jimmy John's Field and a cold beer from Midland Brewing Company. Hi, I'm Kyle, the head brewer at Midland Brewing Company, here to wish you a stellar time making memories at Jimmy John's Field. And we hope that you're living it up with a Copper Harbor Ale in your cup. You can find more of our selections here at the ballpark and around town at your favorite bottle shops too. We hope you have a ball at the game, and remember, enjoy responsibly. Let's play ball.
All the opportunities I've been given, I would not have been able to get at bigger universities.
Here, the professor cares about your success and is willing to work for it with you.
So much preparation for the future.
I couldn't imagine being anywhere else.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
A.J. Coleman on the bump here today for the Beavers. 6'8", 240 out of Cincinnati. The University of Cincinnati, that is 23 years old. Trying to work down that 5.29 ERA here this evening.
Two-seam fastball ranges from about 85 to about 89. Curveball and changeup. And as I already said, he's really got to command that pitch down in the zone to be effective.
The staff here at the USPBL really starting to work with A.J. Coleman quite a bit. They like, obviously, that he works fast, so we see that in quite a few guys here in the USPBL. We've seen quite a few guys who work that way move on, too. They just want to see maybe a little bit more consistency out of this right arm.
He's got a great frame. I mean, he's 6'8", 225. There's a lot, certainly a lot to like there. Comes from a baseball family of great pitchers. Has nice movement on his fastball. There's a lot to like there. I think they'd like to get the velocity up, a few ticks.
Different parts of his career, he's been to 91 miles an hour, and that's, I think, what they expected more so coming into this year. But, I mean, it's a guy who's going through a lot of tweaks. A lot of these players are, so that can happen, and we've seen it with some other arms. He's not the only one here in the USPBL this year. It is a muggy first pitch once again here today. I think today is a little muggier than yesterday. At game time, 86 degrees. Possibility of scattered thunderstorms this evening. It's an 80% chance altogether tonight, according to weather.com. We'll see.
Right.
Anytime you have this kind of mugginess, you can have anything pop up. 81 degrees on the humidity. First pitch at 74 miles per hour. That'd be slow.
That would be.
First pitch at 86 miles an hour at 7:04
There you go.
p.m.
We'd really have some velocity work to do.
In for strike one to Garrett Kieber, and there's the quick motion for ball one. Spread out middle of the infield here. Caesar at third base playing in, as this one is low, ball two.
Coleman really has the recipe for his defense behind him to really like playing behind him. Gets a lot of ground balls, works fast, keeps people on their toes.
And I think when you look at guys like this, that's often the case. Especially the attention span of today's person.
Right.
Everyone used to say, oh, the young kids, their attention span. I think
now it's everybody.
That's trickling to a lot of people.
It is. That's a fair ball, if you ask me.
And that is what they're going to call, maybe. Maybe. Kieber going away, but he is still alive, apparently.
It's going to be tough to get a better look at that. I thought it hit the plate and went fair, which is a fair ball. Must have hit his foot. He didn't really hop around as much as many guys do.
So 3-2 instead of the 1-3 put out there. Good job by Chrisman to try it. You have to. Never know if you're going to get that call. Infielders back to normal depth here with 2 strikes. And you might start to see these infielders and outfielders adjust a little bit more to the spray charts and to the situation because, you know, bunts and the like, even bunts for hits are going to be something that can be a factor when you're looking more at the wins and losses as this season grinds towards the playoffs.
I think we'll start to see, you know, more good baseball just in general, guys doing things situationally better.
Smith able to vacuum that up for out number 1 here in the first inning. Take a look at the defense behind A.J. Coleman here today, brought to you by AAA of Michigan. And left is Riles. Joey Weimer in center, Harrison right. Cuevas at third, Williams at first, Smith and Brandt up the middle, and Comer behind the dish. Outside to Will Johnson. You talked about this lineup in the Mammoths in the Open potentially being one of the best ones in the USPBL. I think a lot of that hinges on this man right here.
It certainly could.
And it's a guy when they were mightily struggling. I mean, you talk about the first 4 weeks of the season, and they didn't get out there as much as some of these other teams, so they weren't really able to get it going from a number of aspects, coming right out of COVID too. But this is a guy who came in a little bit late, but was viewed as a returner that could make a big impact with the bat.
Oh, I think so. He's been in the the middle of their lineup somewhere, since he's been here. He's got good pop. Started out pretty fast, and has since not been quite as consistent, but they will go as he goes. It's very possible.
2 up and 2 down. And Lamar Briggs looking to collect the first hit for the Mammoths here in the first.
This guy too. It's another key. A guy who joined the league a little bit late. I think it was late. Was it late July or early August? I forget. But he's another guy who is going to hit in the middle of this order and plays a nice third base and could be a huge key for them. And he's been swinging the bat pretty well.
6 for 18 start thus far. Has driven in 3 runs as well. Scored 5. As that one is sprayed foul. Oh, and 1 to the third baseman here. Everybody back in the infield here with 2 outs and the base is clear. Now they're 0-1. Chopped foul. Late addition to the infield here today. Jalen Smith going to second base because of Freddie Geely being scratched. We haven't heard exactly what was the reason for the scratch so far. Ron Williams Jr. was originally supposed to play this game. Jalen Smith was not. So no shuffling in terms of the order in which guys march out there, just position-wise and the 1 addition. Here's the 1-2. High at 88. Fastball has averaged 86. The curve 75 miles an hour, and the changeup 79. Uses the fastball the most at 59%, curve at 25, and the change at 16. 2s are wild on the board, and there is a strikeout. The first of the game for A.J. Coleman. That's a good inning for a man who allowed 6 runs in his last outing.
If he gets that location, he's going to have a good day.
No doubt. We'll check Andrejczyk when we get back.
Crack open a Budweiser and experience the refreshing taste of summer. Make every moment of summer count. by picking up Budweiser today.
As we continue to respond to COVID-19 in our communities, Ascension Michigan is with you in this, and we are doing what matters to keep you safe in our care. At our hospitals and sites of care across the state, Ascension Michigan has additional safeguards in place. We are limiting visitors, ensuring proper social distancing in our waiting rooms, offering more online visits, and performing rigorous procedures to clean and disinfect. Our care teams are delivering babies and performing surgery. Now more than ever, it's important not to delay your health care. Schedule your appointments. Make sure children are getting their vaccinations. And if you have an emergency, don't wait. Go straight to your closest Ascension ER. Thank you for continuing to protect yourself and our community by washing your hands, wearing a face covering, and social distancing. Our doctors, nurses, and staff are ready for you when you need us. This is what we do best.
Right, up here and look around the...
Thank you guys so much.
Give it.
The fourth appearance on the mound for Ryan Andrazik here tonight. His third start. Came out of the pen in his last outing. He's improved subtly as his short time has gone on.
Had a pretty clean outing out of the pen the last time out. You know, had a 1-2-3 inning, and I thought his fastball velocity was a little bit up in his last outing as well. Maybe because he knew he was only going one, you know, as opposed to just starting. That might have been it, but something to watch today.
TJ Riles, Ryan Williams Jr., Joey Weimer, your Zach Hart agency three-men due up. Here in the bottom of the first inning, really solid 1-2-3 frame for A.J. Coleman. Painted the black for his third out and first strikeout to Lamar Briggs as one in for strike one on TJ Riles. Briggs at third base playing in. Everybody else back as you see there. Out in front of the changeup there, 1-2. Two seam, slider, changeup, curveball, and every once in a while the four seam. 1-2, popped him up. Capers takes charge for out number one.
You don't often see the catcher go all the way out there to catch a pop-up. That ball's kind of moving away from him. It'd be an easier play for Heffy to come in and get it, but he took charge.
I'm trying to think, at what point did the pitcher never, ever, ever take a pop-up?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Check the defense before you chime in with that. It's Johnson, Olin, and McCoy in the outfield. Briggs and Haffey on the corners. Barnes and Kieber in the middle, and Cabers behind the dish.
I think the assumption is just that everybody around the pitcher is just a better fielder than the pitcher. I think that's just the assumption, and I think they feel out of position somewhat, and I think they try to get out of the way as much as possible. That's kind of part of it.
Strike one into Ron Williams Jr. here.
He's been swinging the bat a little bit better lately as well.
Average up to 250. 3 doubles. 7 RBIs as well. Here's a 2-1. In there for strike two. So just one inning of relief for Ryan Andrazik on Saturday. No runs, no walks, 1 strikeout, 13 pitches. In there for strike three for out number two. A little bit of a wider zone here tonight. Both Coleman and Andrazik benefiting from that early on.
Well, that's going to help their game. You know, they're guys who, you know, as I said, if they lay their fastball down the middle, they're going to get hit hard. So if they can expand the zone a little bit and get a few more corners, that's going to help both of them.
Weimer checking in at 281. Still looking for his first extra base hit. You'd think that would come.
It's surprising. I didn't actually realize that, I'll be honest with you.
I looked at the sheet once, twice, 3 times, and yes, it was confirmed. I was pretty surprised, too.
With as much power as he has.
This is a guy that hit in the home run derby and put on a pretty nice show. 1-2 on the Beavers center fielder. And both of these guys worked really routine first innings. 2 strikeouts for Andrazik, 1 for A.J. Coleman. He marches off feeling pretty good.
That was a very well located slider right there.
Now time for Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Trivia here tonight. What is the main liquor in the classic sidecar cocktail? I have no idea.
I've never had a sidecar, which means I'm going to rule out vodka. I don't know if scotch gets mixed a whole lot with other things. Same with brandy. I'm going to go with gin. B, gin. Oh, it's brandy, huh? Okay.
Well, we have a couple trivia games in store today, so you have another chance in 2.
I don't think I've ever tasted brandy my whole life, so it's not a huge shock that I got that one wrong, at least not to me.
My grandpa used to love brandy. You can check out uspbl.com/shop to purchase your favorite team gear today. You were down there the other day.
I was. I picked up my first ever Mammoths item, which was the I guess you'd call it a dry fit T-shirt, and you know, I hadn't had any Mammoth stuff yet. It's as you know, tend to identify with the East Side, so I hadn't grabbed any Westside gear yet, and it's tough to deny those colors. They got a great color scheme with the blue and the silver. It was pretty sharp. I couldn't pass it up.
I liked it for sure. Reminder, you can chime in with us on Facebook and YouTube on the chat section. Larry Kubiak says, any Ducks watching? That's
is that a reference to yesterday's question?
I'm guessing it is. Xavier Warren.
I do not have a fear of ducks, though, Larry Kubiak.
Xavier Warren also watching on YouTube. He says, Joey Weimer is my favorite player. There you go.
Well, you tell Xavier I said fire up chips.
Those two worked out with each other even before, I believe, the USPBL. And they got drafted on the same day, back-to-back rounds. Scott Capers, Alec Olin, Ross Haffey, 4, 5, 6, and Paul Nickenbrugge's lineup here tonight. A.J. Coleman in the first, a ground out, and a strikeout looking. That was to Lamar Briggs. Andrazik had 2 strikeouts in the first. Could be one of those kind of nights. On the ground to Brandt. Bobbles. And the error here to lead off to second.
That's a big error. You know, Coleman, a ground ball pitcher, gets a ground ball against one of the other team's hottest hitters, Capers, and you need your shortstop to make that play.
Here's Alec Olin now, the center fielder. Olin settling in now with the Westside Woolly Mammoths. A guy that has really played all over.
He has. I feel like we've seen him lead off for almost everybody.
And that's kind of the one exception because, in general, you had taxi squad players. Olin, Xavier Warren, I guess, for a while was an exception to the rule. Also Ross Haffey for those 2 to 3 weeks. But most guys were kind of pinned to one roster or the other, and they would kind of rotate given the need. And if they felt that they could get ABs or pitching reps for them, but like you say, Alec Oland has been everywhere in the lineup. Lead off, middle, lower half. Scott Capers doing a really good job getting on his first few games here in the USPBL. 2 home runs last week, a walk, another base hit, and now he reaches on an error here in the second as that sparks inside 2-1.
It's getting to the point now where I think all 4 clubs have a catcher that they feel pretty good about going forward.
Which is important. And those guys will start to get more comfortable as well, given the situations that these rosters are in now. Anytime you had the rotating circuit, and sometimes those same catchers would rotate with those guys, but
right.
Still, you want to be comfortable with who you're receiving.
Well, a couple of those catchers who are good players and prospects, like Frankie Leska and certainly Xavier Warren, they haven't been catching their whole life. So, they're looking to get as many reps as possible, but it's tough when you see all these different pitchers. You don't really get to know the stuff that each pitcher has, and you don't get a lot of time to establish a rapport with each of those guys, and it makes it a little bit more difficult.
Ross Haffey, your Zach Hart agency man on deck. Dangerous 6-hole hitter here today for the Mammoths. That's kind of been where he has been lately. He's on some kind of roll. A.J. Coleman paying the most attention we've seen a pitcher pay attention to a base runner, it seems like, this year. That one sparks inside, first and second with no outs to begin the second here. And for a guy like A.J. Coleman who works fast, it's all about, his rhythm. And something like an error can mess with that. Now the walk.
Well, he made a good pitch. I think a pitch that he felt pretty good about against a really good hitter. And you got to turn the page.
So here's Ross Haffey. Average only at 205, but has now driven in 17 runs on the year. Little check swing over the glove of Coleman there. He'll advance both runners.
Well, I assure you Ross Haffey wasn't trying to sacrifice on that, but it kind of worked out the same way.
Yeah, altogether, even his outs have been productive, it seems like, in the last 7-8 games at the plate.
Yeah, even his mistakes have been right.
Was unsure about swinging at that pitch in the end. A 87-mile-per-hour two-seamer. Here comes another guy who's lately been swinging it and seeing it a little bit better. Player of the game on Sunday for this Westside team. Big-time victory for them to push their win total to 7. And all of a sudden, they're 7-11 now. Marching back to the 500 mark.
Drove in the winning run, didn't he?
Did.
Yep.
Been solid at second base all year long. Also turned the game-winning double play in the end. 1-0 is outside 2-0. So his season average 224. Average in his last 10, 261. So there's some progress there. 3 hits in his last 3 games. Here's a 2-0. On the corner for strike 1 at 88.
He's working with a big zone today. I know you already said it, but that was another example of it right there.
Barnes trying to figure out where that zone is here today. Second and third with 1 out in a scoreless game here in the second.
Same shot. Oh. I don't know. To me, that was about the same location.
So 3-1 now on Landon Barnes, looking for RBIs 3 and 4, potentially in scoring position here. 3-1, nice spraying single to right. One runner on to score. They're going to test it with the second. Harris airs it out. It dribbles in, not in time. And Alec Olin is able to make it 2-0 Mammoths.
And a nice slide there by Olin going to the backside of home plate. Landon Barnes continuing to swing the bat pretty well. He's got a nice short contact swing, hit that ball where it was pitched, and drove in a couple for his club.
Off the bat at 91 on an 87-mile-an-hour pitch there. Here comes Isaiah Cullum trying to keep it going. Two for 18 at the plate. Does have 5 walks compared to just 6 strikeouts. 77-mile-per-hour curveball in for strike 1. Coleman gets 14%. Swings and misses on that curve. It's the highest of any pitch he has. Close play over at first base there as Williams Jr. nearly applied the tag for the second out. Andrew McCoy, your Zach Hart agency man on deck. He's the bottom of the order here tonight. Fastball spoiled away. Jeremy Otto alongside Dan Griesbaum Jr. to bring in the call here tonight. 2 runs in the second inning against A.J. Coleman. Error and a walk have been capitalized upon here. Here's the 0-2. Another curveball, foul. Straight up defense pretty much all the way around here with 1 out. Middle of the infield looking for that double play. They're a couple steps in. Seems like a long inning already here for AJ after his first. Trying to bury another on the outside corner, and Cullum does a good job to spoil it. Back towards Auburn Road here in Utica, Michigan.
Coleman's got an 0-2 situation here. I'd like to see him try his curveball again, but a little bit further out, try to induce more of a chase.
Cullum choking up. Time is called. Cameron Comer catching Isaiah Cullum, or catching Coleman here today. Not been many days off for Cameron Comer behind the dish for the Beavers.
That was an example of where he didn't really get on top of that pitch. He threw it hard, though. It was, upper 80s, but it just didn't get the type of sink and tail that he normally wants.
Here's the 1-2. Outside. And arm positioning in general is another thing that Justin Orenduff pointed out before the game that he's been working on. Waiting on the 2-2. Here it comes. Cullum giving Coleman a run for his money here.
Making him work.
Ryan Andrazik in the first for the Mammoths. A good first inning. Pop out, strikeout, strikeout. So he's looking forward to getting back out there. Trying to build upon his early start to this season. Cautious lead for Barnes. Good secondary as this one sprayed to right center field. Weimer is on it for out number 2. It's a big out for A.J. Coleman after the long battle. 37 pitches deep in his arsenal already.
Pretty good at bat, really, for Cullum. You know, it ended with an out, but he saw a lot of pitches. He hasn't really had regular playing time, so, you know, that's a really good at bat for a guy who hasn't really had a chance to settle in yet.
Doesn't necessarily show up on the score sheet later, but when you talk about 38 pitches already for A.J. Coleman in the second inning, that chases a guy maybe a few innings down the road.
Definitely help your club get into their bullpen a little bit sooner, potentially.
Runner in motion.
Great ball to run on.
Now he's going to take the turn and go to third base here. Comer comes up with it, throws a dart, but not in time. Great base running by Landon Barnes as he's on third with 2 outs.
And he did what I really like to see a base runner do is he peeked over his left shoulder as he was on his way to second. And he saw that ball was by Comer, and it allowed him to not slow down at all, just make the turn and keep going.
Had an aggressive turn around second base, made it easy. And there's no harm in that, right? As long as you stay close enough to the second base bag, we're able to get back.
Yeah, but you don't make any type of turn like that unless you know it's by Comer, and there's a lot of guys who would have never seen that. Some guys in a situation like that will go diving into second base, and they have no idea that the ball got by the catcher.
Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Nice darting curveball there. Acting more like a slider in that instance. So now 1 strike away from working out of this inning where he's already given up 2. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back nice curveballs to get McCoy his second strikeout of the game. Big knock by Landon Barnes. He hits a sinking liner over the head of Smith to score 2 here on the USPBL Network.
DTE Energy customers can get their share of huge lifetime energy cost savings. How? By using our website. The Oslin's new programmable thermostat saved them a bundle. And their new, efficient furnace earned them a hefty rebate. All over Michigan, people like the Oslins are saving. Why not you? There are always new ways to save at dteenergy.com/saveenergy. DTE Energy.
Well, getting ready for a new trivia game here today. It's your Michigan First Credit Union Piggy Bank trivia.
Oh.
I have no idea what this is presenting. They say follow the coin.
All right, I got to follow the
It's
coin.
a little bit of a difference.
Not really trivia. I got to follow. All right, this is going to test my aging eyes.
See, now this goes slow at the
I hope
beginning.
this is how it keeps moving. Okay, I'm okay so far. Okay, I think I'm good.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I was once a good hitter, believe it or not, but I think my eyes are aging.
Boy.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's 2.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, pretty sure it's 2. I'm going to go with 2. Final answer.
Let's see. Oh,
All right.
yes. Number 2.
All right.
There you go. Your Michigan First Piggy Bank trivia here tonight.
All right, so I'm back to even then after my loss last inning.
Everybody in the crew had a wry smile when they talked about that here today. They didn't really tell us what it was. They thought they were going to stump you.
I don't know. Maybe the joke will be on me next time. Maybe they'll make it go twice as fast.
They
or something.
might. Ryan Andrazik had a fast first inning. Pop out, strikeout to Riles, Williams, and Weimer. He'll face a guy that's as hot as anybody in the league right now. 400 in his last 10 games. 300 average overall. In that 10-game stretch, he's 12 for 30 with 5 RBIs. Is still striking out at a fairly high rate, but you'll take the 300 production with some of those Ks.
Definitely. Just needs to have a better idea of what he's looking for situationally. You see that right there, a 1-0 count, and it's a breaking ball that's away. There's, he's got to know to spit on that, right out of the pitcher's hand.
Cesar Cuevas, Jalen Smith, your Zach Hart agency, other men 2 up here in the second, and Comer is out in front of that. So early on, it was a timing thing for Cameron. You seeing anything else lately that's allowed him to get settled in?
I think his timing's better. I think the next thing is going to be not chasing balls out of the zone.
1 up and 1 down here in the second. Here comes Cesar. He's off to a 4 for 16 start thus far. Shown some power in this right-handed bat thus far. Hit one on a line to left field. Was that last week, I believe?
Yes.
First pitch strike. No walks to 4 Ks so far. Popped him up this time. It's McCoy who comes in for out number 2. Now Jalen Smith, the last shot here, 183 average. This is a bat. If he starts to do what Vaughn Joshua and Paul Nochi thinks he can start to do, could be a key to this Beavers squad. They think there's more in this right-hander than what he's shown so far. Has shown some extra base pop, 3 doubles and a home run, 7 RBIs. I think it's somebody, particularly in Von Joshua's case, who would like to level out his swing a little bit more. Joshua coaching with the Hoppers last year as an assistant. He did just that to Zach Gray, really worked on it, and producing much better this year.
Yeah, you can tell Von Joshua is not one of those launch angle proponents.
He has his book with guys of 500 or more home runs, and he says there's only 1 or 2 that actually had an uppercut swing.
I know Mike Schmidt did it. He's pretty adamant about it. He was actually the opposite direction. He really talked about hitting down on the baseball, literally hitting down on it, which I don't know that I agree with that either, but
Briggs, nice hopping play. A scoop by Haffey over at first base. He's played a good brand of baseball over at first when he's been in defensively, and so has Lamar Briggs at third thus far. 2-0 in favor of that squad right there.
Hi, I am Allison with the Sports Performance Tip of the Game, brought to you by DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With so many options to choose from for a drink after a strenuous workout, which would you choose from? A, chocolate milk, B, a sports drink, or C, a soda? Well, if you said chocolate milk, you are correct. Chocolate milk is packed with carbohydrates and proteins and is a great option to replenish the fuel needed after a very hard workout or competition. It has double the value of a lot of the normal water or sports drinks and is a great option. Within 15 to 20 minutes after your workout is a very important time to replenish the fuel and set you up for success for that next training session. So don't forget to reach for a nice cold glass of chocolate milk after your workout.
It's the Lincoln Summer Invitation Sales Event going on now at Crest Lincoln. Schedule your remote experience today or visit us here and learn what it means to have vehicle ownership on your terms.
Find some peace this summer in the luxury of the 2020 Lincoln Nautilus. Lease today for only $359 per month. Or drive in comfort and style in the 2020 Lincoln Continental. Lease today for only $361 per month.
Make a summer memory today. Visit us at Crest Lincoln in Sterling Heights or shop now at crestlincoln.com.
A.J. Coleman trying to have a better start to this third inning. He had a 1-2-3 frame in the first, then he allowed a leadoff error to Scott Capers, a walk to Alec Olin, then the ground out by Haffey, advanced both to second and third. Nice approach by Landon Barnes at the plate. We've seen some good ABs from him lately. Drove in 2 off a single, sinking over the head of Jalen Smith at second base. And then A.J. Coleman, despite the battle with Isaiah Cullum. Nearly double-digit pitches there, fly out to center, and then a strikeout. Was able to get out of it unscathed otherwise.
There wasn't a lot of bad pitches by A.J. Coleman last inning. I think if he could take anything back, it would be the walk to Olin. You know, he needs to try to avoid walking guys. But outside of that, you know, the E6 and you know, he got Capers and Haffey, who are 2 of the hottest hitters in the league. So
Ken Winberry on YouTube says, hi from New Jersey. I enjoy this league. Very entertaining. Is that a new state? I don't know if we've had a New Jersey so far.
Good question.
We've had a New York.
Yeah, I'll give that some thought. I'm not sure that we've had one from Jersey yet.
In for strike 1. I was talking to Jeremiah Hergott, our producer and graphics man, on the way home yesterday. We're going to maybe put together something looking at all the states that we've
would be neat.
Viewership from.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So spread the news. Around the U.S., we want to get to every state by the time we're set and done here this season.
Snagged a couple countries, too, didn't we? Australia?
We did, yes. There's a hot shot off the bat of Keeber rising into the glove of Riles. Good route there for out number 1.
Pretty well hit ball.
Yeah, I thought for sure that was going to carry to the gap.
Yeah, it looked like a gapper off the bat for sure.
Brings up Will Johnson now. Johnson, the left fielder again for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Clavas plays him in at third base.
You notice he never misses with that fastball on his arm side. It's always on his glove side, which leads me to believe that there might be kind of an over-rotating there. It could be getting his fingers more on the side of the ball and pulling it across in that direction. Or it could be that he's really aiming for that corner and just missing. You know, it's hard to know for sure, but I don't recall him missing on his arm side at all with the fastball.
3-1 here on Will Johnson. The pitch. 2-1, I beg your pardon. High. And that's something we really haven't seen out of Johnson this year, but it's something he's capable of. I know we've talked about it in the past, but last 2 years in college combined 88 walks to just 70 Ks. He's got 2 walks to 8 Ks coming into today.
I believe he had the record for walks at Eastern Kentucky one of those years.
So 1-out walk here in the third. Second walk surrendered by Coleman here tonight. And a look back to first. Ron Williams Jr. anchoring that position here today for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Briggs sprays that one, and it's going to get down in front of Harris. Johnson's going to at least go first to third. Another nice approach by Lamar Briggs. He makes a play, and now he gets a base knock.
Mammoths are in business here again. They're going to be looking for a double play ball here as Capers comes up to the plate.
Max D on YouTube says, go Mammoths, from the Boyce family from Ohio. So hello, Boyce family. Scott Capers reached on an error in the second inning.
If Coleman can get the same swing he got in the first inning, that'd be perfect.
In for strike 1 at 88. more often than not as well, Jonathan Brandt makes that play.
Oh, yeah.
He tracked it all the way and just kind of lost it on the exchange in the glove. Here's the 0-1 to Capers. Outside, curveball at 78th. It didn't break a whole lot. Then heavy fastball, curveball here today for A.J. Coleman. And it is that way for the most part. I mean, he's 59% fastball, 25% curve, 16% change. We've seen a lot of pickoff attempts over to first today off this right-handed arm. First and third with one out, 2 runs already in tonight for the Mammoths. That was back in the second. 1-1 popped him up. Williams Jr. tracking it for out number 2.
That's a big out.
For sure. Alec Oland, the next man up, playing center field here tonight for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Had a walk back in the second inning. Ross happy to follow. He's your Zach Hart agency man on deck here in the third. We've seen about 10 pickoffs already from A.J. Coleman here today.
He's got pretty quick feet. I could see him picking somebody off over there at some point.
Briggs in motion. Comer going to send it down to second base, not in time. Now the runner coming home. The throw right there, trying to hop out of it, but Comer stands tall. Nice job by Cameron to stay right there, and Alec Oland will get an AB in the fourth as Johnson is struck down for the third out here in the third inning. Now time for JJ the Water Boy, presented by Michigan First Credit Union here this evening. JJ gonna go give that basket of water out to the umpire at second base. There he is.
Umpire Sal working the bases today.
JJ making sure he gets his water on these hot and humid days as well.
You know, seeing JJ reminds me, I picked up a present for you today, Jeremy.
Did you really?
Got you a couple packs of the baseball cards. Maybe you'll get lucky and get yourself a JJ.
Let's see.
JJ card.
Let's open them up here.
The JJ card's the one my kids are the most excited about when they see that one.
I haven't opened up a pack of baseball cards in a long time.
There's no gum in these cards here at the USPBL. Yeah, have you ever bought one of those original packs from like the 80s or something?
And the gum is like worn off on the back of the.
my family dared me to try the gum, and I did one time just for a few seconds. I didn't think.
How was it?
I didn't think swallowing it would be a very good idea. It tasted pretty much like the cardboard. You know, I think the gum flavor goes away, and the cardboard of the card starts to come through after about 20 years.
All right, so the first pack, I'm having some trouble here.
Some trouble with
I just got it.
There you go.
I just got it open here.
Probably see some familiar faces in there. Some of the returning guys, I would think.
Luis Contreras, Randy Dobnak.
Oh, you got a Randy Dobnak. There you go. All right, good one.
I might have to hang that up here in the booth.
It's going to start tomorrow afternoon, I think, for the Twins.
Donald Goodson.
Don Goodson is another good one.
Dan Williams. Ty Hensley.
Ty Hensley, man.
Wow.
Maybe I should have kept this pack for myself. Jeez. Got quite a lineup there.
Well, there you go. That's good stuff.
Only way to beat that pack would be to get a JJ.
We'll see if number 2 has it.
Yeah.
Romero Harris, Jonathan Brandt, and Ashanti Wheatley. Your Zach Hart agency men on deck here. This one's popped up to center. Alec Oland able to make that catch. You have a favorite baseball card? Jeremiah Hergott says his Ken Griffey Jr. 1989.
89 Upper Deck.
Yes.
It's got to be Upper Deck, right,
Yep,
Jeremiah?
exactly. That's what he said.
I was literally going to say the exact same card.
Really?
I'm not even making that up.
Huh. Why is that?
You know what? It's the first card I remember really being valued high right when it came out, at least in that era. Upper Deck was a new brand, too. I want to say that was the first year of Upper Deck baseball cards also, and that was the #1 card in the set, and it was, even from day one, it was valued at like $20, which is, was pretty high for a new card back then, and, Griffey was the sensation pretty much right away.
My second opening here, pretty good, too.
Okay, who you got?
We got Javon Shelby, Mammoth, Randy Dobnak.
Another Randy? How about that?
Gonna have to send these in for him to sign. Nolan Clenny.
All right.
How about Ross Haffey?
Ross Haffey, good.
There you go. Jerry Salisbury and Noah Goetze.
There you go. The funny thing is I haven't opened a pack of those cards since the season started. So when I did open them previously, being new to the league, I actually didn't really know very many of the names. But it's a little more fun.
You know them all.
Yeah, now it's more fun to go through them. I mean, a lot of those pitchers especially are back this year.
Where do you get these from? Are they down?
We actually we have them here for our suite and diamond table members.
Very cool. McCoy under this for out number 2 here in the 3rd inning.
My kids were given a few packs of cards when I started here by our COO Dana Schmidt, so I opened a few with them back at that time, and I knew a couple of the names, Ty Hensley, and we certainly knew who JJ was, of course, and Randy. But now it seems like I know the majority of the names, which is fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun if a guy like Ty Hensley makes it back through. And obviously he's never been to the major league levels. So to see a guy struggle like he did just to stay healthy.
Right.
The production wasn't all that bad when you look at the numbers, but that's the one thing that you circle is the amount of innings. And ultimately there weren't that many. I mean, this is a guy still working through things as a professional, as a 26-year-old. At this point, you'd think, oh, yeah, I mean, you follow the track, he'd be in the big leagues at age, I don't know, who knows, 23, 24, if everything was okay.
Well, 26, it's like which is crazy, but they start to write guys off almost, which is kind of nuts.
Line drive to center as Wheatley is able to reach.
But he's a guy, at 26 who feels like he's a veteran. But that's kind of a good thing for now, because if and when he does sign with an affiliated club, he's going to go, right to the top or close to the top. If it's this year, it'll be a taxi squad guy. If it's not this year, I'm sure it'll be AAA. And he's going to have a great shot of getting to the show.
T.J. Riles comes up with 1 out here in the 3rd inning and a runner on first. Ryan Andrasic letting his first hit of the game reached, and Wheatley, what a start it was for Andrasic. 2 strikeouts, but everything else left up to his defenders. It is viewed as a pretty good defensive team. And when you look at it, Johnson in left, solid outfielder. Olin, solid in center. McCoy, good arm in right. Capers trying to showcase his arm. Not able to do so. Close play at second base there. It's your first TCF Bank stolen base.
It's a good throw. Just a good base runner with a good jump.
Infield, Briggs, real strong. Arm and glove at third. Keeber, solid at short. Barnes, solid at second base. Haffey, solid at first lately.
Yeah, so he's been a better first baseman than I expected, especially lately.
And Dan, I know we've talked about it a little bit, but that might have just kind of re-propelled his bat. I mean, along with the adjustments he's made.
Obviously, we want to see it play out the rest of the year. Certain guys can get hot for a short period of time, but hopefully he can keep that consistency through September.
Bender just low. And that's the one interesting stat. Again, it's a low sample size, only 3 appearances and 2 starts leading up to today for Andrzejczyk, but he has not gotten a swing and miss on that curveball at all this year, and it's a pitch that averages 2,600 on the spin rate, and that's 100 above the major league average.
Yeah, it's an unusual thing. Not sure if it's that he's not locating it where he wants, or if it's just that he's not surprising guys when he throws it.
This one popped up. Briggs going back, Heber going over, and he will call it for out number 3 here in the 3rd inning. 2-out single, that's it against Ryan Andrzejczyk. Everybody else back to the dugout. Thus far, it's been a solid start for him.
The difference that we bring to pediatric care isn't just the fact that we care deeply about our patients and want to partner with their parents in delivering the best care for their children, because a lot of pediatricians can deliver great care. What we do differently at Campground Pediatrics is we offer a different environment to deliver that care, and we offer personal service in a way that many practices can't.
Senior Spotlight brought to you by Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union. Michael Roth from Cousino High School.
We love Cousino.
Yes. Soccer player. Played there for 4 years and then made it to the district finals for the first time. Caring, loving, and funny kid according to his family. So congrats to Michael Roth on your graduation. Here's the
red sneakers there in graduation.
Yeah.
I like that.
The aforementioned Ross Haffey as well. The average won't stand out, but that will continue to go up. I mean, you've got a lot of AB.
When you started from a bad place for a while.
Hard hit percentage of 31% nearly. That ball's 95 miles an hour or above. A guy to look out for as we stretch towards the playoffs. Alan Perot on YouTube says the gum lasted for years in those packs.
Right.
Tell us what your favorite baseball card is as a kid.
I wonder if you can pinpoint a time frame or a year when people started buying the packs for the cards as opposed to the gum. I wonder what year that would have been. And of course, if you go way back, like 100 years, they came with tobacco.
Right. Imagine that in today's day and age. Maybe some kind of other substances.
Right.
This one is in for strike 1 on Alec Oland. Here's a 0-1. Outside. I hear of people when they talk about baseball cards, they said they used to put them in their bicycle spokes. Ever do that?
No, I didn't, because when I was collecting baseball cards, I was, raised to believe that they were valuable and that you put them in a book and those kind of things. But the key is people who kept them before they knew they were going to have value. Those are the people that made out. But there's not that many of those people. It seems like everybody from that generation threw them away. I mean, I know my father didn't keep his and my uncles didn't keep theirs. They all had them, but threw them away.
2-1 is spoiled away. 2-2 on Alec Oland. He had a walk back in the 2nd inning and came around to score as well. David Baird comments on YouTube, says, today was supposed to be my first high school football game. I'm sorry to hear that, David.
I didn't realize that we were already to that point. I guess that's true, though.
Week 1.
Yeah, August 27th, Thursday. Yeah, that makes sense.
Feels weird.
Yeah.
This one is a swing and a miss here by Alec Oland. This is my first time not at a game between today and tomorrow in 10 years.
Does the Catholic League open on Thursdays, or do they?
There's some teams.
Do Friday?
Traditionally, it seems like the last few years, Orchard Lake St. Mary's has been opening up against Dakota. Here locally.
That's got to be a tough game.
Yeah.
For both sides.
Always has been. Dakota won last year, I believe. Orchard Lake had done pretty well in those other 2 series. I believe it was 4 games in a row or so that they played each other.
Remember when I was in high school, we always beat Dakota, but that's because the school was just got up at that point. They didn't even have a full class of kids yet, but they've been a machine the last decade or so.
Swing and a miss. 78-mile-per-hour changeup there from A.J. Coleman. He was able to surrender things a little bit better in the 3rd inning. Did give up a walk and a single, but
he's been commanding his breaking ball pretty well. When he wants to keep it away and get guys to chase, he's been doing that.
One and two on Ross Haffey. Landon Barnes, your Zach Hart agency man on deck here. The pitch. Swing and a miss, but Haffey's going to reach first base here, potentially. Maybe? Oh. Yes.
I think Ron Williams might have heard the footsteps there a little bit. That ball was starting to swerve into the baseline, and you got Haffey coming down there like a truck.
Allen comments on YouTube. I wish I had all my baseball cards. I would be retired by now, but I was a Topps guy myself.
I still like Topps the best. That's kind of the classic brand. I never did get anything that was, like a super valuable baseball card. Nothing over $100 or anything like that. But there's a lot of people out there that, have Mickey Mantles and things of that nature that are still really valuable.
Jim Meyer on Facebook comments, how about them Cubs? He's referring to the UD Jesuit Cubs, of course. And actually, now that I think about that, throughout my high school career, we used to open up against Grosse Pointe South quite a bit.
Yeah, that was a common matchup for a while. Had a tendency to go back and forth, sort of like the baseball ones.
Last couple of years, UD has opened up against Brother Rice. I think the last 3. And for...
That's not an easy opener.
Strike one, not at all.
UD Jesuit and Grosse Pointe South have some similarities, certainly. Obviously, one a public school and the other one private, but they're toward the bottom end of Division I usually as far as enrollment. Neither one is a huge behemoth of a school like a Dakota is.
To some extent, they sort of compete for kids, I guess, because there's...
Yeah, similar geography. Grosse Pointe kids and... obviously a Grosse Pointe South can only get kids from the south side of Grosse Pointe, but the ones that go to private school there's a lot of them that do go to UD, certainly.
Here's the 1-2 outside. Aaron Rowe on Facebook asked, will the USPBL ever have an app? That's an interesting
good question. Yeah, I don't
have to run that up the flagpole.
It's possible as we get more into digital ticketing, as opposed to printed tickets. Those who are coming to games this year, and of course there's not many, but those who are coming to games this year are using tickets that are emailed to them. In the past, it's been more of a traditional ticket stock, printed type ticket.
It'd be cool to have the broadcast on that app
on the
too,
app,
if
yeah,
it ever,
sure.
Materialized. 2-2 here in Landon Barnes. Strikeout really to begin things, but the drop third strike has Ross Haffey at first. Fastball outside at 86. 70 pitches deep for A.J. Coleman. The worry was the second in terms of kind of hiking up that pitch count. There was a lot of reasons why. Empty result by Isaiah Cullum, and Cullum in general was one of the reasons because he had that long AB, and here's a one-out walk, which will put runners on first and second. Landon Barnes, another guy who's been having some good ABs lately. So here is the aforementioned Isaiah Cullum. Andrew McCoy, your Zach Hart agency man on deck, the bottom of the order here tonight. Good pick by Comer. Jeremy Otto alongside Dan Griesbaum Jr. to bring in the call here tonight. In there for...
That's exactly where he needs to locate that pitch, right there.
Here's a 1-1. Chopper down the third base line. Good pick by Cuevas over at third. He throws over to first to complete the double play. How about it?
Good footwork. That ball landed pretty much right on the bag, and he didn't hesitate for a second. Stepped on the bag and tossed it over nice and easy like he was born doing it.
More after this.
Your neighbors are going to be jealous when they see you're getting a new Connecticut water system. Say goodbye to hard water problems. No more spots on your glassware. Your laundry will feel and smell better. Your hair and skin will look and feel better. Say goodbye to hard water problems and say hello to great tasting crystal clear water with CGC Water.
We joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing Green Path is a no-brainer.
Reading program brought to you by CGC Water and Hungry Howie's, Wiley Elementary out of the Utica Community School District. Teacher Spotlight, Miss Andrews and Miss Baydoun. So best of luck to the students and those teachers. What's going to be a strange year. All the way around, no way around it.
That's for sure.
David Baird also asked, do we have any pets? I have fish.
Us personally? Do
Fish
we have any
aquarium,
pets?
I guess so, yes.
We have 2 goldfish, but that's it. I know how boring that is, but we have young kids, and I don't trust them to take care of anything besides a goldfish at this point, and I don't have time, and my wife is taking care of 3 kids, so we'll try to keep it simple for now. Maybe we'll look into something more exciting as they get older.
Did you do your water changes?
I believe my wife handles that. At least the fish are alive, so she must be handling it.
I did mine today. It's always a fun process.
I bet.
Get out the aquarium vac. Here's the 0-1 in front of the plate. That's a good bunt by Ron Williams Jr., and he's going to reach.
Yep, good bunt. He gets out of the box quick coming from the left side. Nice play.
I love that. In a game where these Beavers have struggled to do anything against Ryan Andrazik. They had a single with 2 outs back in the third and a single now here in the fourth. Now Joey Weimer gets another shot here.
And why not try it if you're Williams? You know, if it's part of your game, he's quick, he's left-handed. May as well make that part of his game.
Weimer 0 for 1 with a strikeout. That back in the first. Looks like a rushed slide step there from Andrazik. He hasn't had to do it a lot today. Talked about how Joey Weimer is yet to hit an extra base hit so far this year. He slugged .408 in college in 3 seasons for the Bearcats. Hit 12 homers, 25 doubles, and a pair of triples. Gonna have to use the wheels to get out of this double play.
Ooh.
He does not. Keeber, Barnes, and Happy shine here in the fourth.
It's a nice double play. It's not easy to turn one over when you've got Williams on first and Weimer coming out of the box, but they got rid of it quick.
How about Ryan Andrazik here today?
He's been good. He's had good command. He's keeping these guys off balance. That's kind of what we were looking for. He's been getting stronger every outing, really.
Talked to Shane McCandy, one of the pitching coordinators here at the USPBL, about Ryan. And the one thing that sticks out, he's a perfectionist. So, they could tell him you got to make this week, and they'd expect him to then spend 3 hours on dry land just trying to work through them.
Oh, good for him.
But certainly first start to second start to bullpen appearance to third start here today has looked a lot different each time in positive directions. 1-1 is fouled off.
From Canton, Ohio. You figure he goes to the Hall of Fame?
He might.
Every once in a while.
Football Hall of Fame down there. Have you been there?
I have. I went when I went to Cleveland for the World Series when they were playing the Cubs, and I caught that on the same trip.
I have not been able to visit any professional Hall of Fame yet. I'd love to go to Cooperstown.
Well, I'm embarrassed that I haven't been to Cooperstown yet. But it's really one of those things that you just, first of all, why don't you do it before you have kids? That's my recommendation to you. Go ahead and make that drive before you have kids. Because it really is, pretty much has to be a drive. There's no easy way to get there.
Barnes able to play the tough hop and won an inning again for Ryan Andrazik. Gets up, gives up the leadoff bunt hit by Ron Williams Jr. Double play, another ground ball, and he gets out of that.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward, not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
Giving you so much more. Hollywood Supermarkets, your neighborhood grocery store. Hollywood Supermarkets, giving you so much more. Hollywood Supermarkets, your neighborhood grocery store.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Order Jimmy John's and we'll bring it to your car door. Leave it at your front door or have it ready for you at our drive-thru. Just use jimmyjohns.com or our app to tell us what sandwiches, drinks, chips, and cookies you're hungry for. When you want it and how you want it. We're ready.
A.J. Coleman back out for his fifth inning of work here today, and all things considered, that's not too bad because that pitch count has been up all night long.
It has. That's the thing that he needs to continue to work on a little bit. He still misses his spot with his fastball a fair amount, but he's been competitive. He's kept his team in there. They just need to score some runs.
McCoy, Keeber, Johnson, your Zach Hart agency men do up here. Ryan Andrazik here today has handed this team a really good start through 4 innings of work. Saw a bunt hit reach to begin the fourth, and he just got a 6-4-3 double play and a 4-3 ground out. So a good job by his defense behind him as well, but it's been soft contact really all throughout tonight.
Yeah, he's been missing a lot of barrels. Just trusting his defense behind him and pitching to contact.
This went in for strike one on McCoy. Another tight game here tonight. We had a 2-0 final yesterday as well in favor of the Utica Unicorns. Let's look at Jared Price starting to think about coming in maybe soon here. Curveball in for strike 2. It's been a better curveball here today, I think, for A.J. Coleman.
I agree. And he's throwing it where he wants.
4 strikeouts thus far.
That's the one that, he misses with that one too much still. And as I said earlier, he's always pulling it to the glove side. Which against righties, it can really be advantageous to throw it to both sides of the plate. When you throw it in on them, that's a really tough pitch to handle because it's tailing in on their hands. I'm not sure he could get it there if he tried. Right now, it's just he's really only throwing it to the one side.
And if he could, he's gotten ahead of hitters here today. That's not been the issue. It's just been finishing them off for the most part. Because that's the difference of 2, 3, 4, 5, in some cases 6 pitches later, where he could have, set him down on the 0-2.
It's tough to have a great out pitch when you don't have multiple pitches that you can command with consistency, because hitters start to have a feel for the fact that they really only need to sit on a certain pitch.
Shallow for Weimer. Neither him nor Smith can catch up to it. Leadoff base hit here in the 5th for Andrew McCoy.
I think that was the case with McCoy. Kind of what I just said. He was able to lay off the fastballs that were out of the zone, and he sort of sat on that breaking ball and got enough of it to hit it into center for a base hit.
Able to break a 3-game hitless streak is Andrew McCoy. Here comes Garrett Kieber. He's 0 for 2. Average at 291 coming into the day today. He was 2 for 3 in the last game against the Beavers. First pitch fastball at 86. Strike 1. We've seen a lot of those here today. Not dribbling away, just pick-off moves.
You got to make sure you don't throw them away at this park, because that'll roll around by JJ's doghouse down there, and you've given up a couple bases.
Saw that earlier with Landon Barnes. Barnes is the reason that his squad is up 2-0 right now. The sinking single, sharply hit. Didn't try to do too much, and I think that's really been Barnes' MO the last few games and what's made him successful. Curveball there. Sees it pop into right. Harris. Hat falls off. He makes the catch anyway. Out number 1 here in the 5th.
See if McCoy tries to challenge Comer here at any point. Steal a bag. Comer's throws have been pretty consistent.
Today the first of a back-to-back for the Mammoths. They'll play tomorrow versus the Unicorns. Ty Hensley.
And there he goes.
Going back out there as that throw's going to skip into center. Good job by Barnes to back up.
Ball was on line, but it was a tough short hop. Difficult play for Jalen Smith to handle at second.
So Hensley going against Tasker Strobel, the guy who we've exclusively seen in relief in his few appearances thus far.
Well, neither of those guys get hit very hard.
Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1-1 here in Will Johnson. And then Sunday, against the Unicorns again for the Mammoths, the starter TBA. You could see either McKendall or Jared Wright going that one most likely. Talked to Justin Orenduff about how these starters will be used. I mean, up until this point, Justin and the pitching staff have kind of been deciding who starts, who pitches when. That's going to be left up a little bit more to these managers. And one reason why that was the case, there's always going to be some involvement because you have certain guys working on things and, you know, certain guys that maybe need exposure with scouts in attendance or scouts watching on certain days. But also these managers were just given the pitching staff just because of the situation, you know, that we were faced with.
There's a lot of taxi squad guys, too, and they didn't necessarily know a lot about each of those guys. And they, in some cases, they probably didn't know that guys were going to be on their roster until maybe a day before or a couple days before.
I mean, just think of it. We're here every day for the most part, with the exception of a couple days here and there for either of us. But it's hard for us to even remember what happened yesterday because we have all these moving pieces going on.
Sure.
2-2, flared, foul. Yesterday, I promised 2-0 victory for the Unicorns. That's what I. Derek Hurt with the game-winning run. 7 pitchers used by Utica. So we don't forget all the time, but it's just, you know, it's not like we're covering one team. That's something that, you know, you think about each day. You're covering a different team every night, and it could be worse, obviously. There's 4 teams in the league, so we're not complaining by any means. But
sure.
Here's a 2-2. Outside, runner on second base here in a 2-0 game in favor of the Mammoths, looking for a AAA insurance run here in the 5th. USPBL has made that decision to kind of stick with the 7-inning games going forward. TBA in the postseason, I believe. I don't know if they've made a ruling on that. Outside to Johnson for ball 4. Jared Price continues to warm up now.
I think they'd certainly like to get Coleman through this one. But if he allows another base runner, they may not give him the chance.
John Murphy has begun to move around and stretch out in the Mammoths pen. You got to think that Andrzejczyk at least has another inning in him.
Probably. If they could get him through one more, then maybe go to Murphy or possibly a combination of Murphy and Cole.
Just 51 pitches thus far for Andrzejczyk. 90 for A.J. Coleman. Season high 92. That was in his second to last start on the 13th of this month versus the Unicorns. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. 2 walks to 4 strikeouts. One and 0 to Briggs, the pitch. Smith turns to second in time. Over to first. Got him!
Just what the doctor ordered.
4-6-3 double play. Erases another rally for the Mammoths here in the 5th inning.
I enjoy renovating my home, so getting materials with my Chevy Silverado is a daily trip. But as the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever, it's perfect for all my projects. And with the most functional bed of any pickup, plus the power-up down tailgate, my Silverado helps me with everything I need. Of course, a little assist from a friend doesn't hurt.
Lease a 2020 Silverado Custom Crew Cab 4-wheel drive for just $323 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Kid of the game, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. It's Cade Kiesel here today out of Allen Park Middle School, 12 years old. Loves to play baseball and come to USPBL games as well.
Good for him. I don't know if we have a ton of folks making their way up from Allen Park, so that's good to see.
Ryan Andrzejczyk out there for another inning. He's looked very good through 4. Just 2 base hits, 1 in the 3rd and 1 in the 4th. The infield variety. Looks like Jared Wright starting to go through the motions. Not sure if that's a bullpen for him or if he's available to come in here tonight. There's a look at the moon. You can see the craters here tonight.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
Ever hear that app? You can point it at the sky and it'll tell you.
I had some fun with the kids one night with that. They get a kick out of it. Funny thing is, you can point it at the ground and it'll tell you, on the other side of the earth what's
really.
Yeah, what's there. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So it's basically, I assume, based on satellite and GPS and everything. So it doesn't necessarily physically recognize what's in the sky. I don't think. I think it's just about where you're pointing the device.
Huh.
We found Jupiter and Saturn next to each other one night when we were fooling with it.
That's been visible, I feel like, quite a bit the last couple weeks. Cuevas looks at strike one and ball one to begin the 5th inning. Able to see the constellations as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Those need to be pointed out to me like they are in that app. I don't recognize those without that. I need it spelled out for me.
I think I've only seen the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper by myself. But again, pointed out. I can't spot it myself either.
Sure.
I
think I could recognize it as being a dipper, but knowing which one is which, probably not.
Metro Detroit, you can't see a lot of stars if you're in the city, as this one is fouled off.
Come to think of it, we were actually messing with it when we were up in Bay Harbor, so
makes sense.
Yeah, a little better viewing, I think.
Seizure back in the 2nd inning, flew out to right field, and he did go. Few and far between on the strikeouts here today for Andrzejczyk. It's his 3rd, but not to say that his stuff hasn't been good. He's just been using his fielders with, when you look up and down this Mammoths pitching rotation, some of the relievers as well, they'll do that as well.
He's mixing them up really well. You got to give some credit to Capers too. I'm sure he's calling a good game.
Briggs on an easy play for him. Don't often see him boot one.
Yeah, that was a hittable ball that it looked like he got away with, but then his defense failed him, which hasn't happened a lot.
First error of the game for the Mammoths. Beavers have won earlier in this game as well. Romero Harris trying to turn around an 0 for 1. Fly out to center field his first time up.
With as much as Andrzejczyk's been around the plate and the fact that the offense is struggling, they may want to try a hit and run or something just to get these guys going.
Outside, Romero Harris hasn't really been able to turn around the bat from the hits perspective, just 167 in the average column, but has drawn some more walks lately. Last game he actually snapped a 7-game walk streak where he had 8 walks and just 2 strikeouts in that stretch. 1 and 2 on him here with 1 out in the 5th and a runner on first. The Beavers trying to strike for their first run. Early on in the season, the Mammoths would deal with a situation like this. Tight game, they just can't get the offense going, but they were able to get it going early on today in the 2nd. Lead off error and a walk, and both came around to score.
Yeah, it's been talked about in baseball for 100 years. Don't give guys free passes and don't give them any extra outs, and that's what cost them in that inning.
4 ground balls off of Andrazik today. We told you about the 3 strikeouts. He's had a couple pop-outs and 3 flyouts thus far. Getting everybody but Johnson involved in the outfield so far here tonight. Runner bluffs. Harris looks at one outside, 2-2. That's one maybe he would have chased a couple weeks back, but he's found a better eye at the plate. The 2-strike slider outside there by Ryan Andrazik. Runner is in motion this time. There's a flare to right. McCoy going to catch it. It's going to be tough for him to get back as he's got a rocket. Comes into Haffey as he stretches and make the catch.
You got to peek in and see what's happening at the plate. It's important.
Well, heads up play all the way around. Ryan says thank you. Faces the minimum again here in the 5th.
When you need emergency care, you want your hospital to be ready for whatever comes through the door. Ready for any injury and any illness. Ready to respond at the speed of emergencies. That's why McLaren Macomb built a new emergency department with advanced technology, clinical expertise, and 68 private exam rooms. We're Macomb County's largest emergency department, and we're ready for you whenever you need us. That's emergency care at McLaren Macomb. That's doing what's best.
Let's take a peek at the USPBL standings presented by Scott's Every Game. The Unicorns, with the win last night, still 3 wins ahead of everybody else. With this Beavers squad, the Hoppers, and now the Woolly Mammoths are looking to catch up. Mammoths at 7-12. Really not too far away from the Beavers and Hoppers all of a sudden.
Funny thing is the Unicorns really haven't hit all year. If they got any offense, they'd, who knows what that would look like. I'd say the lack of hitting has cost them at least a few games.
Jared Price, your Hoffman Dental pitching change here in the 6th inning for the Beavers. Fastball slider. Curveball change for Jared Price. This will be his 16th appearance. 20 1/3 innings on the bump so far. 10 walks to 21 strikeouts thus far and a 2.65 ERA.
Been probably the most consistent bullpen piece for them all year, I would say.
Three earned run in his last 2 starts, or last 2 appearances combined. He's walked 2 in those as well. That was before a really good stretch, where he'd only given up 1 run in his last 7 or 8 appearances. First pitch strike to Scott Capers as he fouls one off. Capers today reached on an error in the 2nd, popped out to first in the 3rd inning. Curveball outside. So Price gets his most swings and misses on the slider, 19%. Overall for Price, 12% swing and miss rate. When you talk about the best in the major leagues, considered 16% or above. It's very lucrative though, because 8% is considered bad.
It's interesting. I would have never known before looking into those statistics that was the case. I would have thought that some of the better pitchers in baseball were getting a lot more swing and miss than that.
Here's a 2-2 on the Mammoths catcher, right up the box for his single. So the Mammoths again looking to get something going. A.J. Coleman went 5 here tonight, turned a 4-6-3 double play to get him out of a first and second jam. Otherwise, it could have been worse, potentially in the 5th. He kind of labored here tonight. Biggest inning offensively for the Mammoths was in the 6th, where they scored their 2 off the double RBI single by Landon Barnes. Comer able to block it.
Good read there on the bases by Capers. He took off as soon as he read that ball down.
Christina Draws on Facebook says, we love watching Jared Price pitch. Eric Soder says, when does championship week start again?
It is the last weekend in September. I will find the date for you right now because I'm forgetting it off the top of my head. It's September 25th, 26th, 27th.
3 days of fun. We're looking forward to that.
Definitely.
Here's a 2-0. Outside with a 92-mile-per-hour fastball. Quickly 3-0 on Alec Oland.
You know, just looking way ahead to something like championship weekend. Imagine if the Unicorns were finished in first place and were in the finals, the way that they could line up that pitching for a game like that, just having everybody well rested.
Scary. It's not a guy you necessarily want to walk. 8 walks to 18 strikeouts coming into play here today. Runners on first and second with no outs, and here comes the ever dangerous Ross Haffey.
Olin had a big run on strikeouts early on in the season, but has been a little bit better since, drawing a few more walks, not chasing as many balls outside the zone.
Haffey today 0 for 2. Strikeout, he did reach first base. Ground ball kind of similar to that on a check swing back in the second as Brandt handled that. Coming into today in his last 6, Haffey was 6 for 16 with 8 RBIs. That's more than half of what he has on the year. 2 doubles and 2 home runs in that stretch as well. Here's 0-1. High at 79. Curveball that didn't break all too much there. Price having trouble commanding his stuff out of the pen here in the 6th. The even pitch. Fastball that zings forward at 94. So much more in terms of the sheer stuff and miles per hour on the fastball of Price to Coleman. Can be at times nearly a 10 miles an hour difference.
Yep.
Good snag by Comer, can't hang on, and now Capers going to take third base.
Another good read.
Wow.
Proving to be a very adept base runner.
Olin going to remain at first. And that could come back to bite the Beavers here in the 6th. Here's a 2-2 on Haffey. Ground ball through the gap where nobody was. Smith covering the bag at second base, and another run will score. Scott Capers comes around, and you got to credit that all to his base running.
What a great piece of hitting there, really, too. I'm not sure if that was a hit and run or just a steal, but the second baseman vacates that hole, and Haffey just nice and easy punched it right through.
Doesn't seem to be seeing the ball maybe as best as he has the last few days, but able to just get enough of that one for another RBI.
Yep, just simple, stayed on it, and punched it through the right side.
His 9th in the last 7, 18 on the year now for Haffey. And here's Barnes, who's going to chop one foul. Still no outs in the 6th inning. Runners on first and third with a run in. AAA insurance run here in the 6th, their first since the 2nd. Landon Barnes, another productive day overall. He's played a good second base, single, walk.
That's a nice block by Comer. Not only to keep the man on third, but Haffey wasn't able to move up either.
Comer's been challenged quite a bit here this evening. Barnes has worked 2 3-ball counts already. That could certainly be a sign you're seeing the ball better.
Absolutely.
Backs up for the first out, the second not in line. Another run will score. Olin crosses the dish, and it's 4-0 here in the 6th.
And because Barnes beat that one out, that's another RBI for him.
3 on the day. Isaiah Cullum had a really good at-bat in the second. Was able to work Coleman's pitch count even further. Barnes also had a nice appearance on the bases back in the second. Was stranded at third in the end, but he took 2 bases on that pickoff throw that went by the first baseman Williams Jr. You talked about him kind of peeking over the shoulder to see if he could make it to third.
Well, it's quite an understatement, but a lot of balls in the dirt this inning. Comer's going to have to ice up after this one.
Two and 0 here on Isaiah Cullum. Andrew McCoy would be next. 93-mile-per-hour fastball outside. Another walk here in the 6th inning. Runners on first and third, so single, walk, single. Fielder's choice, walk. There's more action in the Beavers' pen as they're down 4-0 here.
Nice job by Comer here to go out there for a couple of reasons. One, to give his bullpen some time, just in case Price doesn't get it together. But 2, just to calm him down a little bit and try to reset here. Take a deep breath. Trust your stuff and throw some strikes.
Marco Besserell is up and just preliminarily tuning. He's just started to throw, as you see.
Price is only a ground ball away from getting out of this, so he's just got to calm down, hit a couple spots.
First pitch to McCoy is off the plate outside. Andrew McCoy today, single back in the 5th and a strikeout in the 2nd. Top of the order on deck with 1 out, Garrett Kieber. He's brought to you by Zach Hart Agency. Kieber today is 0 for 3, all contact outs. I think we'll see another inning by Andrzejczyk.
I don't know. He certainly could, but they also might take the opportunity to get him out of there feeling good about himself, and they've got their top 2 relievers both available. So if I had to bet, I would say he's out of there.
Not sure if Murphy has been throwing, as you see him right there. He's been stretching quite a bit.
I would certainly expect Murphy, and then if he doesn't go both innings, maybe Cole. But I know we saw Wright tuning up a little bit as well. That might have just been a side session.
Outside, third walk of the inning will juice the bases here in the 6th with the top of the order due up.
It's been a couple outings now that Price has been a little bit off in his command. He's been working from behind a lot. And a guy with that type of stuff, you hate to see that. You want to see him challenge guys.
Kieber today has been one of the few Mammoths not to join the party. He's in fact the only Mammoth not to reach base in some capacity, whether it be a walk, an error, or a base hit. Garrett looks at one outside, 1-0. He's already the 7th batter to the plate here in the 6th inning. Will Johnson on deck. He's walked twice. So that's a positive for Johnson, too. We talked about his struggles lately. 2-0. This is 6 straight balls from Jared Price. And actually going back to the Cullum at bat, he has not thrown a strike since Barnes. So that's 10 straight balls. Here's the 2-0. In for strike 1. Barnes on third, Cullum on second, McCoy on first here. There they all are. 2 runs already in. Capers and Oland. They have accounted for all the runs, literally, here today for the Mammoths.
Yep.
The 3-1. Strike 2. Keeper back in the leadoff spot here for Paul Nickenberger's squad after a 1-game absence there. 3-2, whittled foul.
It's a good spoil there. He put more pressure on Price to throw it again.
This has been a 31-pitch inning so far for Jared Price. The full count. Swing and a miss. Got Keeper to fan for the second out here.
Well, that's a big out. Price needed that one.
Most pitches he's thrown in an outing, 42. That was on the 20th of this month versus the Diamond Hoppers. Also threw 38 versus the Unicorns back on July 30th. This has been one of your more heavily used relievers overall. One of the cogs to the back end of the pen for Von Joshua's squad. Johnson today, a pair of walks in the 3rd and 5th inning. Also grounded out back to A.J. Coleman in the 1st. Outside at 84. The slider there without much break. So Von Joshua just hoping that he can get through the 6th inning here. The 2-0. In for strike 1 at 94. The velocity hasn't been a problem. He's brought that.
Yep.
Just hasn't had the command of the fastball here tonight. Johnson just able to get a piece of that.
Johnson really got a much better ball to hit on the 2-0 pitch than he did the 2-1 pitch. That's part of his issue right now, I think, is pitch selection.
Here's the 1-2 now. Got him on the outside corner.
That's a healthy zone today.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Jared Price, and Will Johnson is not too happy. Back with more after this on the USPBL Network.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
At midnight, when the ATM cruelly devours your card. At 6 a.m., when your credit goes down the drain. Or at 10 p.m., when you realize your credit card went on vacation without you. Michigan First is here. With our 24-hour call center, online banking with live chat, mobile banking, and branches near you. Michigan First. You have our attention 24/7.
John Murphy, your Hoffman Dental pitching change here in the 6th inning for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, up 4-0 on the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers here tonight. 2 more runs added for some insurance for this young man.
He's been strong as of late. You know, he's been a little bit up and down throughout the course of the year, but has had a, you know, he's got a good fastball, and when he can command that, you know, it sounds like a common theme, but when he can command the location of his fastball, he's gonna get guys out.
11th appearance here tonight, including 1 start, 14 1/3. Just 6 hits given up on the year, 16 walks to 21 strikeouts. Fastball, slider, changeup for this right-handed arm.
That last time out against the Unicorns, over 2 innings, he struck out 5 and only walked 1. That's the kind of an outing that he really wants to build on.
Reminder, you can chime in with us on Facebook and YouTube in the chat section. A number of you have done that here tonight. Eric Saunders says, "Go Mammoths." Lex says, "McCoy," in all caps. MCCCOOOOYYYY. Why?
The long one.
8-9-1 due up for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers here in the 6th. It's Brandt, Wheatley, and Riles. We've had some long innings out of the Mammoths batters, and they haven't drawn it out all too much in terms of men coming to the plate. 8 is a lot, obviously, back in the 6th, but the previous high was 5 in the 2nd, or 6, I should say, in the 2nd. But other than that, Coleman, benefit of a couple double plays, able to get out of it. First pitch away for ball 1 on Jonathan Brandt. And as we reach 8:53, it's already pitch black here in Utica, Michigan.
Guess it's going to get more and more that way, isn't it?
Our cricket friends have returned in the Clinton River area.
They have.
You can hear them in full force across Jimmy John's Field.
I generally like crickets, but hearing them at sporting events, I don't know. That might be a 2020 thing.
2-2 is in there for strike 1. I've been finding all kinds of grasshoppers, and I don't know if they're all grasshoppers or different colors, different sizes in the front garden. They pop out every time we try to water. They're like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Got all kinds of bees too recently as Brandt swings and misses there.
Now, you're not supposed to kill bees anymore.
We don't.
Okay.
We welcome them. They helped out our pumpkins in the back. The lack of rain has not helped out the pumpkins.
I bet. You're growing pumpkins in the back?
We are.
Really?
Yes. It wasn't really an area big enough for it, but it was just kind of a wild patch that we haven't really done anything with since taking over the house. And
interesting.
We just say, hey, let's put some pumpkins there and see what happens. They're smaller, so.
Okay.
But we got 6, 7.
Just in time for Halloween?
Yeah. I'm a big Halloween guy. 3-2 above the noggin there of Jonathan Brandt.
Will you do any cooking with those as well? Like a pie or anything?
Maybe. My wife and I actually made a pumpkin pie last year with my sister-in-law. I think the plan for these is more so
more
decorative.
Decorative, yeah. Okay.
The better pumpkin pie pumpkins, though, are the smaller ones. I'm not sure if these quite fit those mold. They're a little bit bigger than, but they're the small, rounder ones that you get at the market.
Sure. What's your favorite Halloween/Thanksgiving food?
Halloween/Thanksgiving, so that brings in
It's
a
kind
lot
of, it's a lot of fall. Well, I guess Halloween's a lot of candy, right? Whereas Thanksgiving's not. But I'm thinking more like, I guess maybe Thanksgiving/Christmas type food, or a lot of those crossover.
I'm a big fan of the good stuffing.
Okay.
How about you?
I do like stuffing. I'm big on cranberry sauce. This is kind of an odd one, but I like that that I don't even know what it's called. I guess it's a broccoli salad that they make that has kind of like raisins, and I guess there's probably like a mayonnaise base to it. It's not the healthiest salad in the world, I don't think.
But that's why you like it?
Yeah, probably. I don't think I would like it if it was just broccoli.
0-2 quickly on Wheatley here. Runner on first to begin this inning against John Murphy. There's a lot of haters out there on candy corn. What's your thoughts?
Oh, I like candy corn.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a hater.
Nothing in 2 is high. Is it? I'm seriously say this. Are we going to be allowed to have Halloween this year?
Yeah, I think you can celebrate whatever you want in your house, but I wouldn't be surprised if trick-or-treating was out.
When's the last time that's happened?
Jeez, I don't know.
Swing and a miss. Wheatley goes down here in the 6th inning.
That would be sad for kids. They would certainly look forward to Halloween, and not just the trick-or-treating, but also the school parades. They usually do, make a big deal of it at school most of the time.
Trunk or treat's always fun.
Sure. That could maybe be done. I don't know if people giving food to strangers is going to be a thing this year, It's just I'm not a huge Halloween guy myself, but since having kids, they get so excited about it.
First pitch to Riles, swing and a miss here. There used to be a house around the house that I grew up in St. Clair Shores. They used to really do up their yard, had the animatronics.
Oh yeah, I think I know what house you're talking about.
Yeah.
They still do all that stuff every holiday, not just Halloween. That is
now,
on.
The house you're thinking of is in Grosse Pointe now. I think they actually purchased those decorations from somebody else who was more towards me.
I'm thinking of. There's a lot of houses in Grosse Pointe like that, certainly, but I'm thinking of one on Edmonton and St. Clair Shores, off of Harper.
Yeah.
And kind of a typical house, but they go very overboard on Halloween, on all holidays, and it's a lot of those blow up things that fill with air, in the front yard. I don't know what you call it. Are they called animatronics? I'm not sure, but dozens and dozens of them for every holiday. Pretty sure it's Edmonton or Chelan, one of those streets.
1-2 off speed at 79. This is outside. So the one I'm thinking of more so like the scary, more type real.
Oh.
So they have a.
Gotcha.
They used to have a guy playing a skeleton playing an organ.
Oh, really? Okay.
The Haunted Mansion creatures.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen that one.
2-2 swing and a miss. Second out here in the 6th inning, and Ron Williams Jr. with the last shot here in the 6th inning after the leadoff hit by pitch by John Murphy. Williams Jr. today 1 for 2 with a single back in the 4th. First pitch to Ron is fouled back. Joey Weimer would be next. He's your Zach Hart agency man on deck. He's 0 for 2. Tough day. Strikeout and a 6-4-3 double play. That was back in the 4th inning. Everybody at normal depth, with the exception of Haffey holding on Jonathan Brandt at first base here. 0-1 is high. Two through six, and the order has only reached twice here tonight. One on an error for Jalen Smith back in the fifth. The other by this man with the single off the bunt in the fourth. Heady play at that time, really nicely placed. Low and in at 80 miles per hour there. Stop by Capers, hasn't been challenged that much behind the dish here tonight. Did throw out a runner earlier. Here's a 2-2 now. Swing and a miss. Got him to go. Strikes out the side here in the sixth inning. It was only the leadoff hit by pitch that separated him from a 1-2-3 inning. Now time for the race here tonight.
Those Motor City wheels are messing around, waiting to get the call to go downtown. La 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 la. Taking some time and having some fun, waiting to get the call that it's time to run. La, la, la.
Holy Hot Rods, it's race time. Chevy Detroit wheels, start your engines.
Well, who you got here today? Petey Pickup out first out of the gate here.
You know, I was feeling PD Pickup, and I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go with Camaro. I don't like that PD came out first. He usually kind of hits the wall.
Only a 3-car race here this evening. Not sure if we have some cars in the body shop or what.
3's enough for a race. But if you bet to show, you're in good shape, I guess.
Corey Vett taking the lead on the outside as they pass the Jimmy John's field lettering here just to our left. And Corey Vett going to turn on the burners here and cruise himself to a victory as long as he doesn't fall.
Yeah, started to sputter there a little bit. You got to stay within yourself, even if you're a car.
So that's your Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers race. Put in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Surprised at all to see Price out for a second one?
A little bit. After a lengthy sixth inning where 8 batters came to the plate. Aaron Rouse says spray your pumpkins with peroxide. It will keep your leaves greener. That's interesting.
Really?
I have had a little trouble with that. I'll try it.
Try the peroxide. There you go. You have any trouble with the animals getting into that? Squirrels and things?
You know, I have had a few nibbles, so I cut one off because it was like 5 bites on it. So I don't know what's... I don't have any fence, you know, kind of separating, so I expected something to happen, but not too much. I saw my first chipmunk today. I didn't even know we had chipmunks.
Okay.
We're right across from Hines Park, though, you know, the big park that stretches through Wayne County. So I was like... You know, we walk through the woods sometimes. We're like, how in the world do we not have chipmunks as we're so close to this? And little you know, it shows up today, running away from me here. It was out of the pumpkin patch, actually, I believe.
Jeez.
So maybe it's the chipmunk that's nibbling at the pumpkins.
That could be.
Here's a swing and a miss by Lamar Briggs. It's 0-2. Briggs today a single back in the third inning, a strikeout in the first, and a 4-6-3 double play in the fifth.
Well, it looks like a different Jared Price so far.
Yeah, nice slider. That's 3 straight strikeouts going back to the end of the sixth inning. You got Keeber, Johnson, and Briggs, the first 3 spots in this order. Steven Natashko says, I don't know why Price won't go with his gyro ball. He's deadly with it. It's time to make its debut. Steven.
Does he actually throw a gyro ball?
I think Steven's taught Price the gyro ball from past chats.
Okay.
He says, yes, I taught you that. A few chats up here. You can thank your host dad later. Maybe that's with a wiffle ball? I don't know.
I don't know. Daisuke Matsuzaka threw a gyro ball, I believe.
True. Play any wiffle ball with your boys or not quite?
A little bit, yeah. Mostly in Grandma and Grandpa's backyard. They've got a little bigger yard.
Swing and a miss there by Capers. Capers hit his single, a run scored back in the 6th to pop out in the 3rd, and also reached on an error to Brandt. That was a costly error because we saw the first 2 runs score in the inning.
Opened the door, certainly.
It's in for strike 2.
It's another good slider. He's starting to get it together now in the 2nd inning out.
And maybe it is because of the 2 strikeouts at the end of the 6th that they wanted to give him a little bit better feel.
Sure.
Walking out the mound after this one. Weak contact, but foul. One and 2 to Capers. Ooh. And another swing and a miss on the slider there.
Nice pitch. Can't get hurt there.
Now Alec Olin, who's reached twice and scored twice, try to break up this 4 straight strikeout streak. Out of nowhere here for Jared Price. Steve Volkert says, nice inning by my neighbor, John Murphy from Merchantville, New Jersey. There's another New Jersey. Murphy was quite the pitcher in the high school scene there.
Yeah, I guess we should get more comments from New Jersey.
Pitching 3 deep runs in the state playoffs, won 2 state championships. Ended up losing in the semifinals his senior year. Here's a 2-0. Popped a foul. I think I remember right. John said that he played at the winningest school in New Jersey history.
Wow.
Gloucester Catholic out there. Ross Haffey, your Zach Hart agency man on deck. He drove in the last run. Here's the 2-1. Low. 3-1 here on Alec Oland. Another good audience on YouTube and Facebook here tonight. We thank everybody for watching. Lost a little bit in terms of the fastball, but got Oland to chase. 91 miles an hour there. He's been anywhere from 92 to 94, mostly here tonight. But as a reliever, that's what an 8-batter inning can do to you for sure. 3rd walk for Alec Oland. His 11th of the season now.
It's not often you go up there 4 times without putting a ball in play, but he had 3 walks and a K tonight.
Ross Haffey gets another shot here. 6-3 ground out in the 2nd, a strikeout in the 4th, and a single in the 6th inning. It's been all Mammoths here tonight. Ryan Andrazik kind of setting that tempo. Landon Barnes, another man on deck, has also had a great evening. Single walk, fielder's choice, 3 RBIs. And there's another good swing by Ross Haffey.
Curve hung up there a little bit.
So Landon Barnes will get another shot here. 2 players available on the bench for Paul Nickenbrugge here today. Keandre Jones and Jamal Howard, 2 power bats. Usually hit 8 and 9 lately in the order for Westside.
I don't think they'll be needing those power bats tonight.
It's been more station to station here today. Some good base running. Just kind of have to roll with the punches in this game. Depending on your personnel, you can have a day where you hit 2 or 3 out, or another day where it's the steals or the extra base you take, or that, in the Mammoths case, 1 run they scored back in the 2nd inning. That's the difference right now.
Taking advantage of a mistake in that case. The E6 followed up by a walk that just left the door open for him. Good block.
2-1 now on Landon Barnes. So we told you tomorrow it's going to be the Mammoths and the Unicorns here on the USPBL network. Pregame at 6:50 p.m. once again. Now went outside 3-1. Right back at Jared Price.
He had to look into his glove to make sure he had that one.
He did in the end, and he's able to get out of the jam here as he shares a smile with Landon Barnes. Another rally brewing for the Mammoths, but a good job by Price to slam the door, and he'll look for his offense to do a lot of work down 4-0. It's a 7th inning stretch. Here's Leo Ortel.
It's time for the 7th inning stretch and Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Let's hear you sing. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Thank you, fans, for joining along in the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Genesis Credit Union.
Take a peek at upcoming games presented by Motor City Casino Hotel. We already told you tomorrow it's the Mammoths and the Unicorns. On Saturday, the double dip starting at 5:30 between the Diamond Hoppers and the Beavers. And then Sunday, the Unicorns and the Mammoths overall. And a cool moment for the Utica Unicorns before tomorrow's game. It'll be the ring ceremony from their championship banner year.
Right in front of the club they beat. That hurts.
John Murphy pitches his 2nd inning after facing just 4 batters in the 6th and striking out 3 out of the 4. He hit Jonathan Brandt to begin things and then struck out Wheatley, Riles, and Williams Jr.
I got a sneak peek at those rings. They're nice looking.
Trevin Eubanks on Facebook comments, fun fact, I've played with 4 players on the Mammoths on 3 different teams.
Wow.
Andrazik and Travado. the 2018 Newmarket Rebels Valley League. They were the champions that year. Jared Wright at Southern Miss in 2018. Jamal Howard at St. John's River State Junior College in 2016. Supporting my boys from Destin, Florida, says Trevin. That's pretty cool.
Nice. How muggy has it been in Florida the last couple weeks?
It's a good question.
I gotta believe it. Gotta believe it's up there.
1-1 on Joey Weimer here. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a 6-4-3 double play. In there for strike 2 at nearly 90 miles an hour there.
This game has been very well pitched by the Mammoths all the way around.
Murphy has had several 2-inning appearances out of the bullpen. Had one on the 19th, his last appearance, one on the 2nd of September. Or August. Looking forward. 26th of July, 19th of July. September will be here before you know it.
Yep. No need to hurry it.
2-2 is fouled back. And for sports fans, you got to relish everything in front of you right now because you don't know when the next game is going to be.
We'll never take anything for granted again in sports, I don't think. I know high school kids won't. College kids. The high school kids especially, a lot of them never got another opportunity. The college kids, at least, I think, had some options. They had some options to come back and keep eligibility and things like that.
Look at the Major League Baseball draft and how shrunk it was this year. So many guys will go unnoticed without a doubt. Here's a full count delivery. Popped him up as that will escape back into the stands. So Weimer not going down without a fight here. Makes contact 71% of the time. This is Joey Weimer. Has a high batted on balls in play at 360 with an average of 281. That generally for guys means that they're going to come back down to earth at some point.
I think his good speed helps his average on balls in play, certainly.
Yeah, so for him, I don't know it applies as much. And he's a career 260 hitter in college, so
right.
Maybe it means he goes down a few more, but I think this is pretty accurate of what you might see going forward for Joey Weimer in his pro career.
It's surprising to me that he was only a 260 hitter in college. You know, I knew that to be true, of course, and I had looked at his stats, but between the power and the speed, that's surprising.
Comer fouls this one back. He's 0 for 2 today with a pair of ground balls to second base so far here tonight. So tomorrow, Ty Hensley going at it again for the Utica Unicorns. Excited to see him. Pitched on Friday last week as well.
It's becoming appointment viewing. Oh.
Way over the head of Capers as Weimer cruises to second base. The Beavers in search of their first run here tonight.
Sometimes they just get away.
Yeah, for a while, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, two guys kind of considered to be appointment viewing here in the Michigan area. Now it's Ty Hensley.
That's right.
On the USPBL network. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts in his last appearance through 88 pitches. .63 ERA. Can't get much better. One and two on Cameron Comer now. .64 ERA through 42 innings. 6 runs given up all year, just 3 earned. There's strikeout number 1 for John Murphy here in the 7th, and 4 overall already here tonight.
Just threw that right by him. Just the old-fashioned reach back and throw it by him.
So Hensley with a walk rate of 3.6 and a strikeout rate of 10.5. I'm sure he'd like the walk rate to be a little bit further down, but
I think so. He has done a better job of pitching to contact, I think. He's had some dominant outings where he's only, struck out 6-7 guys, as opposed to the 12 that we may have seen normally in that type of outing.
Cuevas looks at strike 1. He had a strikeout in the 5th and a flyout in the 2nd. Oh, 1 in for strike 2. So again, Murphy trying to work out of a leadoff base runner. He did that with style in the 6th. He struck out the side in the end. Here's the 0-2. Away. Trying to get Caesar to chase there. Murphy's outing on the 19th featured 5 strikeouts, the most he's had in a relief appearance. 1-2, just spoiled back at 90 miles an hour here. We've had some long at-bats here tonight. Game going on 2.5 hours. 7:04 first pitch here today. Jalen Smith, your Zach Hart agency man on deck here. So the Beavers aren't going to go down without some fight here in the 7th. Some good ABs down the stretch. Even those strikeouts were battles for Murphy. Blocked with the noggin there by Capers. Good job to look Weimer back to second.
Ball was pretty far to his right, too.
Those Beavers can't really catch a break. Most of those balls have gotten away from Cameron Comer here tonight. Not most, I shouldn't say, but Comer's definitely made some nice stops, but he's had to face quite a few in the dirt.
Yeah, he had a very rough 6th inning, especially.
We're not exactly sure if Freddie Geely is off the bench and available here tonight. He was scheduled to bat second and play second base. A late scratch for Smith here today. So if he's not available, that would make just Brett Elmer the man off the bench.
It's not a bad left-handed bat either.
He's drawn quite a few walks himself. Has Elmer. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss at the top of the zone. Strikeout number 5 here in the 7th inning for John Murphy. And here's Jalen Smith now. Smith with a ground out in the 2nd, reached on an error in the 5th as well. Fastball elevated at 87. 39 pitches thrown so far here by Murphy. So similar to his output last game, but obviously much more effective here tonight. Popped up down the first base line. Haffey gonna try to sell out along with Andrew McCoy, but neither can get to that.
Good hustle, but that's a long way down there.
Right around JJ's doghouse. Romero Harris would be next if they can draw out this inning further. Joey Weimer on second base because of the leadoff walk. The only two batters that have reached against Sean Murphy here tonight. The hit by pitch in the 6th and the walk here in the 7th. And in general, only 2 more base runners before that against Ryan Andrazik. Make it 3. 2 singles and an error. Here's the 0-2. Painted on the corner. Wait a minute. That was
0-1.
0-1, I beg your pardon. Way ahead of myself there. Now the 2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss, but Smith going to try to reach here. Capers does that for the 2nd time here tonight.
He's got a good arm.
How about the outing by John Murphy? He strikes out 6 in the last 2 innings here, Dan.
Yeah, you know, he still has a couple things to work out command-wise. He walked a couple in there, but he's got good stuff. I mean, he's not going to get hit hard when he's around the plate.
The Mammoths with their 2nd win in a row, their 8th overall. This is a good win here tonight for Westside.
It is. I think they're a team to watch going forward. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they found their way back into this race. It's a pretty good lineup. I think they have an idea of what they want to do from a pitching standpoint, and I wouldn't count them out in any way, shape, or form.
Back with our player of the game when we get back here on the USPBL Network.
From the very get-go in your major, you are doing things involved with your major. And they really do a good job with finding professors that not only know what they're talking about, but know how to teach what they're talking about.
Here, the professor cares about your success and is willing to work for it with you.
You get the intensive care from each professor. You get the interactions with different students both in and outside of your major.
There's always something happening on campus. There's always something to do. Go visit campus and really experience everything that campus has to offer. Once you do that, it makes up your mind for you.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
The Weingarts family is honored to be celebrating 75 years of helping families like yours with your lawn equipment needs. While the equipment has changed, our grandfather's founding values and commitment to quality still drive our business.
We carry top brands like Exmark, Toro, Honda, Cub Cadet, and more. See the full lineup at Weingarts.com.
Whether it's new equipment, parts, or service, we work to earn your trust in each of our 6 locations.
From our family to yours, thank you for letting us serve you.
Weingarts, everything from lawn to snow.
At Priority Health, we're embarking on a new normal, embracing the changes needed to keep Michigan safe. While that may look a little different for everyone, Priority Health is here to help. With access to the care you need, the doctors you want, and the quality coverage you can afford. So you can get back to this, and this, safely, steadily, and with the smartest health coverage possible.
When you are in need of air conditioning services, turn to the experienced professionals at McQuaid Heating and Cooling, Plumbing and Refrigeration. Since 1970, we've been delivering high-quality air conditioning installation and repair services. Call for a free estimate today. Let us help you be cool and comfortable. For comprehensive HVAC services, contact McQuaid Heating and Cooling, Plumbing and Refrigeration today.
Piloting a hot air balloon is my wife's passion, and she couldn't have a better wingman than my Chevy Equinox. Its stylish design rises above the rest, and with its 4G LTE Wi-Fi plus great gas mileage, Equinox keeps us connected mile after mile. With my Equinox, the sky isn't the limit.
Lease a 2020 Equinox LT front-wheel drive for just $261 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com.
Want to hit your home cleanup project out of the park? Well, making sure that your driveway is safe from damage? Rent a rubber-wheeled trailer from GFL and keep all of your bases covered. Our trailers come in 20 and 30-yard sizes for all your cleanup needs. Call GFL today to order your driveway-safe rubber-wheeled trailer. Team GFL, helping you win your cleanup project.
Hi, I'm Jerry Kozak. This is my son Jason from Kozak's Mr. Muffler.
We've been family owned and operated since 1988. We operate our business with honesty and integrity. We're a full-service auto repair facility. We have 4 locations in the Metro Detroit area to serve you: Macomb Township, Sterling Heights, Warren, and Royal Oak. At Kozak's Mr. Muffler, we focus on quality. That's why we're giving you a lifetime warranty, something that the industry does not have. You will not find it at any other auto repair facility.
Hi, I'm Dean Morse, the District Manager of Mr. Muffler Corporation. We have 4 locations to serve your automotive needs.
Hi, I'm Justin, Manager here at Mr. Muffler in Warren. Honesty and integrity is what our work is based on. Please come down for a free inspection today.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm Assistant Manager here at the Macomb location. Come by and see us sometime.
Hi, my name is Eric, and I'm the manager here at the Macomb location. Hi, I'm Brian Wilson, Sterling Heights Mr. Muffler. I'm the manager, home of the lifetime warranty. Come and see us anytime.
We'd love to take care of any of your auto repair needs.
Detroit Mercy really models a value-based education. They focus a lot on service, which provides so many different experiences and opportunities that allows us to tie in everything we learn, how to apply that outside of the class.
There are a number of different programs that we're a part of to help bring the community back and revitalize the city of Detroit. Doing service with the community really helps bring Detroit Mercy outside of the gates and to everyone.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
You've been charged with a crime in Macomb County. You need an attorney who will protect your liberty and stand between you and the whole force of the government. You need Vince Manzella and the team at Lucido and Manzella on your side. Vince grew up in Macomb County. Vince knows the people in Macomb County. Vince understands the Macomb County court system, and he aggressively fights for Macomb County residents every day. Lucido and Manzella, 586-228-3900.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, everyone. A big-time 4-0 victory for the Westside Woolly Mammoths here today in our Auto Lab post-game show. With our player of the game, it's Ryan Andrzejczyk here today. He goes 5 innings, allows just 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 3 Ks. as well. Just what do you think worked well for you tonight?
You know, tonight, as I was saying, I didn't see as many lefties, so I got to play a little bit more with my slider. My catcher called a great game with all the change-ups, him trusting it a little more than I normally do. And I was filling up the strike zone today, and, you know, I was just getting the calls. My defense had my back tonight.
A lot of lefties against the Diamond Hoppers. We kind of talked off air, you know, something you had to make an adjustment to maybe here today, not as many. And the changeup was something that featured and looked really well today.
Yeah, it felt good coming out of my hand. The more I threw it, the more confident I've been getting in it. So the more right-on-right changeup just gives me another element to play with.
Just take us through some of the things you've been working on mechanically.
I had my first film day with them the other day, and we really broke down my mechanics. What I've been doing is leading hip, then knee, then ankle. And their philosophy here is go ankle, knee, then hip. So I've been putting in a lot of time over the last week and a half or so trying to retrain my body to do the opposite of what it's normally doing.
Shane McCann, talked to him before the game, one of your pitching coordinators here in the USPBL, along with Alan and everything that Justin does as well. He talked about your tireless work ethic, you know, you kind of being a perfectionist. Just where did that come from, I guess, in your career?
I've always been the smaller guy on the field. I've been this size since 8th grade, and I've always had people that are bigger, stronger, faster than me. So I've always had to get every little advantage I could possibly get. So me putting in a little bit of extra time as opposed to just sitting on my couch and watching Netflix when I could be standing there working on dry reps. And that's what I did. I showed up the next day and he was like, it looks like you've been working at this for about 2 weeks now, and we showed you it last night. It's just one thing. I try and pick up on, I mean, they're not going to tell me anything that's going to make me better or worse. They're just trying to make me better. So why not just take it and run with it?
Well, you lobbied for one more inning. Skip didn't give it to you ultimately, but John Murphy did a great job relieving you. 6 strikeouts in total.
Yeah, that was awesome. Having a bullpen that you know can come in and clean it up, man. I promise we have probably the best bullpen in the league out here. And with that being said, I mean, I have all the confidence in the world in anybody coming out of that bullpen.
And I know you're new, but this is a huge win for your team overall, just trying to, you know, kind of arch back in the standings.
Yeah, absolutely. Since I've been here, I believe after I got picked up from the tryout, we're 6-1 since I've been here.
There you go. It's
really,
the Andrasic effect. Right?
I'd love to be able to say that, but man, the bats are getting hot. All the hitters are doing well defensively. I mean, 1 error and that's just no free bases tonight. Was awesome.
All right, and thanks for catching up here today. Look forward to talking with you as this season continues. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts overall for your player of the game here today. His Westside Woolly Mammoths will take on the Utica Unicorns again tomorrow at 7:05. First pitch there, 6:50 pregame show right here on the USPBL Network. We'll see you then. Have a great night, everybody.